Y'all, we're here on the Atlantic Highway. I'm soaking wet and I'm on my way to James Bond secret base. I know the passcode. I know how to get in the front door. Just 3 more hours of this bullshit and I'll make it. But I got this. I'm all fueled up and I just took, well, I'm in the process of taking 50,000 milligrams of Lincoln Park Meteora straight to the dome, baby. Yeah! Here in Linwood, getting absolutely brutalized. I've only been going for an hour and I actually don't feel too bad, but it's just kind of annoying because this bike path has like stop signs every like 200 feet. It's a nice bike path. There's so many stop signs, it's really frustrating. I finished Meteora, that was nice. A very spiritual experience. Rest in peace. Yeah, hour 55 minutes to go. This is definitely pretty insane, but I'm just gonna go through with it because it's really epic. And this guy's house that I'm going to has like a secret keypad that I gotta put in because he's not actually there. Just like random dudes letting me stay at his house. So I'm gonna do anything to get there. I'm gonna piss in his toilet. I'm gonna sleep on his sheets, everything. And yeah, the only thing that sucks right now is just my dick is just so numb. Can't even feel it. And then every now and then I'll just feel it brush on my leg or something and I'm like, what's that? And I reach down and grab it, it's just my dick. But it's not mine anymore, it's just succumbed. Hopefully I don't get like hypothermia dick or anything like that. Oh, another stop sign. Okay, I'm gonna get off my phone now. Holy shit. Sorry, my hood fell on my face. Look at this. It's a stormy one. I'm going up this massive hill on this bridge. Ocean City something. Holy crap, I'm getting roasted by God right now. This is so epic though. I feel like a weatherman in one of those. Oh my God. I keep getting blown around because the bag in my butt catches so much wind. I'm just getting blown all over the place. Oh my God. It's a stormy one. Holy shit. It's so ominous. The camera doesn't really capture it. Oh, alright. I'm gonna put my hands on the bar so I don't fall. Okay, I made it across the bridge. And when I crested the first hill of the first bridge, I was like, holy shit, that was insane. Then, I literally get to the top of it, and it's like a fucking double big boy mega bridge. Holy shit, that was one of the most insane things I've ever done. I'll go into detail about it later, because I'm trying to just get to this house and, you know, just get there before it gets dark. I'm like at the beach now, basically. There's a bike path that goes all the way along. So I'm pretty much just cruising straight along for now. Pretty crazy stuff. Okay, I'm about to get off the bike path. I'm going on, oh, the bike path turns left and then right. Alright, I'm staying on the bike path. Okay. You can't see anything on this camera, holy crap. You can't really see much. 45 minutes to go, baby. We almost made it. Hurricane force winds out here, baby. Holy shit! Have you ever seen it like that before? Oh my God! Woo! Holy shit! Oh wow, it's really
And then my mom basically offered to come down and get a hotel room. And then I was just gonna dry out my stuff and just hang out with my mom before I took the ferry, and I was gonna be like out of like distance to hang out anymore. And then right as I was organizing that plan, basically this dude, who I'm not gonna name, and I'm also not gonna show his house at all, just because like I don't want to disrespect him or whatever. Um, he called me and he was like, "Oh yeah, you can come. We're in Philly, but that's 40 miles away. I don't know how you're gonna get here." And I was like, "Your address said that you're in Ocean County," which ended up being another misunderstanding because it's actually a bit further than that. So, anyway, basically, I got permission from this guy to stay in his second house. Well, he had to get permission from his wife, so I guess from his wife. So now I'm staying in his second house completely by myself. He said I can eat whatever I want. I can have whatever I want in the house. I have literally all my belongings laying out to dry. But getting here was completely insane. I had to bike for 3 hours, and I think I have some clips of it that I'll put in, but it was unreal. It was just complete, like, it was raining. It was, like, completely just spitting at me the entire time. And I was just trucking through. My butt muscles really pulled in. They just got it done. They didn't complain too much. And then when I was crossing onto, like, the islands, I don't know exactly what you're crossing, but at the edge of New Jersey, there's a bunch of islands. When I was crossing onto Ocean City, which this guy actually told me not to do, but I didn't realize that that's what I was doing until I did it. I was crossing this bridge, and it was just so crazy. There was wind, it was like blowing me around, and I was just flying around like a little mosquito. I thought I was gonna die, but it was actually really fun. And then during that time, I actually lost my clear glasses. Like, they just blew. I don't even know what happened to them. I think they just blew off my bike into the water at some point, and I had my cycling mirror on it too, so that's a pretty big bummer. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, so I was biking and biking. Then this other dude from Warm Showers calls me, and I'm like, "Yo, is this dude number one?" And he's like, "Is this Devin?" Just ignores my question. Or I don't remember exactly what happened. But anyway, I misunderstood him, and I thought he was the guy whose house I was going to. Turns out, at 5 minutes into the conversation, I realized that wasn't him. And then this other guy, Richard, who was like the sweetest guy, was like, we just got to talking about what was happening. I was just standing in the middle of the pouring rain in the middle of the street trying to talk to this guy. And he was just trying to talk to me. Anyway, he seemed really cool. He was telling me how he just did the Trans Am Trail, which is basically like straight across like the middle of the U.S., like I think Virginia to Washington State. And yeah, he told me I can call him anytime if I get lonely or if I need any advice. So that was pretty cool. Anyway, the big daddy of the journey was, and this is the thing that the guy number one warned me about, which is that the bridge between the last island and the island that I'm on now is closed because it's under construction. And it wasn't actually the construction that made it closed. I got to the bridge and I saw it was closed, and I was like, shit, I literally have no other option. I would have to go all the way back around, go down inland, and then cross onto this island a different way. So I just went across the bridge. I'm going up this bridge, and then I reached the toll booth. This old man peers out, and he's like, "You ever dealt with these waves before?" And I was like, "No, like, what are you talking about? Like, no, I haven't dealt with these waves before." I was really confused. And then he pointed at the end of the bridge. He pointed at the road. He's like, "The waves are crashing onto the road. That's why it's closed." And I look over there and I'm just like, "Holy shit!" It's like the road is like this, and there's like rocks on either side, and the waves are just like, just like exploding over the road and like just splashing. Like it's basically like the tide is like going over the road and then receding off, but it's like splashing everywhere. It was like some crazy Hollywood shit. Anyway, I went down there, and I kind of watched it for a while, and I realized, like, oh, there's not actually that much. There wasn't a lot of water actually going on. Like it was like spraying a lot of water across the road, but it wasn't enough water that I thought, oh, this is gonna like push me off the road. But I was still scared of the possibility of that happening just because if it did, if I fell off my bike, I would have fallen onto the rocks. So I just got off my bike and like I was running across this bridge with like the saltwater like waves just like splashing on me, and I just like made it across. It was so epic. I was terrified, but it was also like so satisfying to get to the other side. And then yeah, it was that, and it was like another 30 minutes to get here. I got to put in like a little secret passcode to get a key from like a hidden little box that this guy has on the outside. And then that let me into the house. And there's like instruction manuals everywhere to how to like do various things in the house. And I had to turn on the hot water heater. Literally all my stuff is like everywhere. I have like individual bills like lined across the table. I don't know why I didn't put my wallet into a thing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm really. Oh no, that's not it. The bean juice. I'm so stupid. When I first left, I brought an entire container full of dried pinto beans. And then I filled it with water. Well, first I filled it all the way. Then I was like, okay, this is like getting really tight in here as the beans expand. So then I did halfway. And when I was at the laundromat yesterday, I realized there's liquid in my bag. I was like, what is this liquid? Then I smelled it and I was like, oh, bean juice. It just, my whole entire bag just smelled like butt cheeks, and it just smelled so terrible. It was like beans, but just not good at all. It just smells like nasty, like fermentation, basically. What happened is, like, as the beans started to absorb the water, I guess they released gases, and the pressure just forced water out from under the cab of the thing that they were in, and just filled the bottom of the bag with, like, bean water. At that time, I cleaned it out, not realizing the extent of how bad the problem was. And when I got here, I started to like thoroughly wash out the bags. It turns out that the bag that the bean juice was in, I lifted like this. The bags have like a flap inside that has like it's like a laptop sleeve basically. I lift the laptop sleeve up, and then on the back and all the way down the back of the inside of the bag, it's just like bean juice, like bubble squirt splatter, all over the place. So I scrubbed that out. I dumped that water out, and I'm like, "Oh, this is fine." And then I look at the back of the of that sleeve, the laptop sleeve, and I'm like, I run my fingernail on it, and when my fingernail starts scraping stuff off, and I'm like, "What am I supposed to do about this?" So then I try thoroughly scrubbing it for like 10 minutes. It doesn't come off. The only way I can get this stuff off is by scraping it with my fingernail. I even tried scraping it with like another object, like a spoon and stuff, and it's just not like, I don't know what it is, but like I can only scrape it with my fingernail. And I check the other bag, and I scrape that one, nothing comes off. So somehow this bean juice just like completely turned into like glue and just like stuck onto the. You know, that actually makes sense, because I remember someone saying that you can use the water from chickpeas as like a binder. So that stuff must be similar to the chickpea stuff, and it just like got into the fibers of that and just like turned into glue basically. I gave up after 5 minutes because there's no way I'm gonna scrape that entire thing with my fingernails. I'm just gonna see what happens, and if it starts to get moldy or like nasty, I'm just gonna cut that little laptop sleeve out because I don't need it anyways. It has like a mesh bag to store stuff, but putting stuff in there is totally pointless because then it's like the back of the bag has like a thing jutting out which gets in the way of all your other stuff, so it's better to just put it in the bag itself anyways. Except for my cutting board, but I still have the other one. The other one still has the sleeve, so I'll just use that for my cutting board. But yeah, that was super annoying. Mostly just disheartening. It makes me a little upset, but whatever. I should have known. I should have thought about the bean. Those beans really fucked me over. And then I ended up pouring all the beans out into the garbage because I just couldn't trust it anymore. Once the initial bean water attack happened, I was like, how am I supposed to trust these beans? I just can't trust. I don't trust like that. But yeah, I got to this house and it's really banging. There's like, on the phone the dude was like, he just kept talking about gizmos. And I was like, sick, love gizmos. There's like a USB charger gizmo, a light timer gizmo. there's probably others that I haven't seen yet. But oh, there's also a surround sound system and a pretty big flat screen. So once I'm finished with my food, I'm definitely just gonna go watch a nice movie and just chill. Also, I can leave as late as I want in the morning. Also, there's a hurricane. I forgot. I don't know if I mentioned that, but the entire ride here, I was getting blasted all over the road and like all over this. I was getting blasted all over the place by hurricane force winds, and I can hear like the whipping. There's like whipping sounds like all around me. I can hear the ocean like screaming, and like it's crazy. Oh, but then I listened to this trance 2 hour long trance playlist. First I listened to Linkin Park, then I listened to this 2 hour long Sean something trance playlist that my dad sent me, and that was pretty good. And then I turned the music off because I wanted to hear how brutal everything sounded, and it got a little. The tone was a bit scarier after that. But anyway, I have no idea how I'm gonna deal with that hurricane. My mom's like telling me I should just come home and start again later, but I'm definitely not gonna do that unless it's necessary. So I think I'm gonna continue to the harbor or to Cape May tomorrow. If the ferry is like shut off for the hurricane, which I doubt it will be, then I'm just gonna go home. If not, I'm gonna take the ferry and then just plan ahead and make sure I have a safe place to stay Thursday night, which is when the hurricane, like, whatever the major part of the hurricane hits. Wait through the hurricane there for a day, and, you know, depending on what kind of... As long as I'm not camping Thursday night, like, as long as I just organize the places I'm staying and try to not be camping for those few days in the middle of the storm, I think I'll be fine and I can just continue on. But my family in Charleston, South Carolina, is actually getting evacuated, and that's where I want to go to hang out with them for a while. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't want to go home and start over again, just because, like, I feel like getting here was already a pretty epic journey, so I'm going to try to keep going as far as I can. But if I can't, then it's kind of out of my control. A hurricane is, like, pretty serious. But also, the last time there was a hurricane, like, our power went out for a little while, and it was, like, a little spooky, but it wasn't that big of a deal. But I'm also on the coast, like, the ocean is, like, right there, so